Hi guys, this is Scribbly again with another product review, and today we are going to have a look at a rollerball pen. It's been quite a while that I've reviewed a rollerball pen. Somehow I mostly do review fountain pens, even though Scribbly is a stationary review channel. It turned out to be mostly fountain pens, but today we are going to have a look at a rollerball pen made by Otto Hutt out of Pforzheim in southern Germany. Quite a while back I have reviewed the Otto Hutt Design 07 or Design 07. This one here is the Otto Hutt Design 06, Design 06, and both the Design 06 and the Design 07, they are both made by the same designer, which will become evident later when we look at the clip, because the clip of the Design 06 and the Design 07 are quite similar. Before we hop into the review of this pen, let's have a look at the packaging. Came with a nice postcard. This is actually the Design 07 that you see on this postcard here. Very, very cool pen. If you don't know it, just go on my website and type in Design 07 and you will find a review of that pen. A pen comes in a nice minimalist packaging. Overall, I think especially Design 06 and 07 do have sort of like a nod to Bauhaus design, which one also I think recognizes a little bit in this minimalist packaging right here. Yeah, saying Otto Hutt, excellent writing instrument since 1920, Germany. Very nice packaging. I do personally really like that logo. Can't be more minimalist, but resonates with me very much personally. White inner packaging. Not reading this out aloud for you. You can read for yourself. Open it up like this. Cardboard. Pen was sitting in here. Plastic sleeve. Otto Hutt Design 06 Rollerball, black shiny, PT for platinum plated accents. Nice little card in here, you can read that for yourself as well. The cool thing with Otto Hutt writing instruments is that they all have sort of like a serial number, so your pen is individually your pen. In that sense, of course, every pen is individually your pen, but in this case, those pens are numbered. That doesn't mean that it's a limited edition or something like that. They are just simply numbered. You have a nice little booklet in here saying fantastic that you have Otto Hutt writing instrument, and then for all the different writing instruments in there you will find filling instructions. And since some of the Otto Hutt writing instruments also have like sort of silver accents, Otto Hutt always provides a silver polishing cloth, which of course you can also use to sort of like polish up. I think there was some grease on here or something like that. You can sort of like polish up those platinum plated accents as well, obviously. Let's now have a look at this pen. Very lovely design. I think it's kind of unique. It's a black and silver pen. And by the way, this Design 06, check it out on the Otto Hutt website, comes in a million different color combinations. I just happened to go for the classic black and silver version. But as said, there's like basically a color for each and every taste. There's matte ones, shiny ones, and so on. Apart from this pen now being black and silver, I do find the shape and the design of the pen very interesting, because it sort of like has a thicker waist, if you will, and then tapers down towards both sides, which I think is like a nice sort of like twist and somewhat different to the pen models that normally are either cigar shaped or flat top, but then often very cylindric, not tapering to both sides, maybe just tapering to one of the sides. So I do think this is like a very nice design that makes for a quite unique appearance of the pen. Let's cover the pen a bit more systematically now, top to bottom. Before I do it, let me say the whole pen, cap and body is made out of aluminium, which is coated by a lacquer, which gives it a somewhat glossy appearance. The pen is not a fingerprint magnet, I must say. You do see fingerprints a little bit, but it's not a fingerprint magnet whatsoever. Finial has this OH, Otto Hutt logo that I talked about before on the packaging, which I find very cool. That finial is then sort of like slightly recessed. This OH is sort of like engraved, as you can see here. So it has a little bit of a, is recessed into that finial a little bit. And then that finial is again slightly recessed. There's like sort of like a ring right here. You then have this sort of like your serial number up here on this pen. You then have this clip, which I find very, very cool. This sort of like minimalist design. It's a spring-loaded clip. As said, if you look at the design 07, as said, the design 06 and 07 are made by the same designer. You will find similarities in that clip. It then says Otto Hutt on the center band here and Germany on the other hand side. The pen then sort of like just tapers down and has a silver colored, end of the pen, so to speak. Cool thing with this pen is that it uncaps fairly quickly. I think it's just a quarter of a turn of the cap. If you're worried that might do that the pen might uncap in your chest pocket or something like that, rest assured that for me, I think I have the pen now a bit more than a year or so. It has never happened. If you sort of close it properly, obviously, if you close it just in a lax manner, that might happen. I don't know. But if you close the pen properly, that shouldn't happen. To me, it has never happened. So makes for a very fast note taker because quarter of a turn. That is very competitive, I would say. There's not many pens out there that open with only a quarter of a turn. The cap itself is a piece of art. I just like the minimalist appearance of it, but that's just me. Then the pen has a very, very interesting grip section, very glossy, but interestingly enough, it's not very slippery, and what helps with that is probably the shape of that section, because it does taper down but then flares right here, and that obviously sort of prevents your fingers from sliding further down onto the grip section. It's a very nice balanced pen. I really like the weight of it. I would say it's like for a rollerball, it's on the slightly heavier side of things. It's not exactly a lightweight rollerball, but it's also not, like a very, very heavy pen. So it's not that it's made from brass or something like that. It's an aluminum pen. So it is, but it's not an absolute lightweight, right? So it has a decent amount of weight to it. Very balanced, since this here is probably not aluminum. It's made of a somewhat heavier metal. I don't know what metal it is, but you feel that the pen sort of like has like its center of the weight right here, which is nice because it's sort of like, would you have the fountain pen version, it would likely right under its own weight. Since this is a rollerball, of course, you have to apply a little bit of pressure because this is how this writing mechanism works. But that's that very nice and balanced pen. I really do like writing with it. Unposted, you could post the pen. It would not make the pen back heavy because it's aluminum, so the cap is really fairly lightweight. But posts fairly securely. No issues there. But I don't need to post the pen. But as you see, you could. Let me show you one really cool thing, and that is the refills, not the reviews. This here is a review, yes, but like the refills that this pen uses. So they're Otto Hutt branded, but what they actually are is standard Schmidt refills. So they are provided by Schmidt. I don't know if it says it here. It just says made in Germany. I emailed Otto Hutt and I asked. So these are Schmidt refills, which is cool. Because Schmidt makes all kinds of rollerball refills in different colors and in different widths. Let me write with this one right here. That's like sort of like their ink rollerball refill. Schmidt also does make, for instance, fine liner refills, so it like brings a lot of versatility with it. because you could of course also throw in a fine liner refill, or this one is blue. I think there's also like, you know, green and red available in different widths as said. Let me just write with that one here quickly. Otto Hutt. Design 06, yeah. Writes very nice, very smooth. I like it a lot. For my personal taste, this line is a little bit wide. So guys, what I've been doing, you know, I've just been playing around a little bit in my sort of like drawer of refills. You know, I have all kinds of stuff laying around, obviously as a stationary nerd. And I said, hey, I personally, for instance, really like the Pentel Energale refills. This year, I'm sorry, it's the wrong one I'm showing you. This year is the Pentel Energale one, I think. Yes, Pentel, this is a 0.7 ball size refill right here. So this is a Pentel one. Then I also like these Muji pens here, these Muji Gel pens. I think that they're available with the clip and without the clip and what have you. So this here is the Muji refill, as you've seen, the black Muji refill, 0.5 ball size, works really nice. So I played around with those a little bit, and I'm happy to say that you can fit them without a problem into this pen. It's not completely without a problem. What you have to do is sort of the spring that sits in front of the pen right here. So now it's difficult to control all these things with my hands here because everything rolls away right here. Let me get myself sorted. So I mean, this is the original spring that comes with the pen and that works with the Schmidt refill. So what you will have to do to make those other refills work, sorry, everything is rolling around right here, is to take a spring and sort of cut it in the middle. That's what I've done, you know, like I just took a spring and it was probably the spring that was in here, or maybe it was a spring from another ballpoint pen. I can't remember. I just played around with it a little bit. So I took a spring, I took some pliers or whatever it was, scissors, can't remember, cut it a little bit in the middle because otherwise the refill would have not fit. And then I threw that spring in here and boom, there you go, because all of a sudden you do have these Muji refills fitting. And now you can, with your Otto Hutt Design 06, write with those fantastic Muji refills. I like those a lot because they make a lot finer line, which I find really nice. You know, let me show, and like, you know, they fit perfectly. So no issues here. The only trick, as said, is like you need to like sort of like take a spring and cut it off. Maybe you need to experiment a little bit until you find the right length of spring so that works. This here is the Pentel Energale one. I think it's a green refill. So pretty cool, right? Because the Pentel Energales, they come also in, I think, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, 1.0. You have them in purple, green, you know, all kinds of colors. And the Pentel Energale are one of my favorite Gel rollerballs out there. So guys, this works really, really, really fantastic. I'll throw the Muji refill back in here, yeah, because I like to use that a lot. I of course like will keep the original spring just in case I want to use it with a Schmidt refill again. Then I will safely store those refills somewhere in a plastic bag so that they don't dry out. And then I'm good to use this. I have a lot of these Muji pens and Muji refills flying around home, so I'm really glad that I found this like very beautiful pen right here that I can actually now use to sort of like empty all my Muji refills. And you know, I mean, this is not an ugly pen. I like the design here also quite a lot, but of course no comparison to this Otto Hutt 06 here. Before we wrap the review up, let's talk price quickly. The pen costs 115 euro, that rollerball right here. It's not exactly inexpensive, you know, there's like Lamy rollerballs and Faber-Castell rollerballs out there that obviously cost quite a bit less. But it's also not crazy expensive, because while we're at it, there's also Lamy and Faber-Castell rollerballs out there that cost significantly more. So I would say, you know, like high-class writing instrument around 100, 115 euros, sort of like smack in the middle of sort of like the price range that is available out there. So I think it's a fair price. It's definitely a great pen, very great, you know, production quality, very substantial pen. I really, really like it. I hope this review was useful to you out there, and I'll see you at the next review. Ciao, ciao.